I know, I owe you guys a Bleach video. It's coming. I'm sorry it's not ready yet.
We are deeply sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry.
It'll be out soon. But I really want to gush about River City Girls for a bit, mostly too, but I will touch on River City Girls 0 and the original River City Girls. If I sound weird, because I'm actually not feeling well, I'm in that weird pocket where like I feel better than usual, so I wanted to take this opportunity while I was feeling better to try to record this. Now, I feel since Streets of Rage 4 dropped in spectacular fashion, I might add, back in 2020, side-scrolling 2D beat-em-ups have returned, and I absolutely love to see it. We even got re-releases of some older classics like Scott Pilgrim, the video game versus the World Complete Edition, I think I butchered that, and Castle Crashers Remastered, some old greats. Then we got Double Dragon Gaiden, Rise of the Dragon, that was an absolute blast. TMNT Shredder's Revenge, arguably one of the greatest beat 'em ups of all time. Power Rangers Rita's Rewind that I beat recently with some of my friends, that was a good time. And we have Marvel Cosmic Invasion coming soon. It's all rather exciting. That being said, the Kunio series has the claim to being the first beat 'em up of all time, and I'm pretty tapped into the IP, including the Western variants like Super Dodgeball and Renegade. So shout out to Technos, I'm very familiar with them and the work that they've done before the IP kind of got switched around. I think Arc Systems and or Way Forward kind of owns the intellectual property now. I'm not an expert on the series, but I know a lot about it. River City Girls 2 might honestly be my personal favorite beat 'em up, but let's start with 0, otherwise known as Shin Neketsu Koha Kunio Tachi no Banka. So River City Girls 0, or Shin Neketsu Koha Kunio Tachi no Banka, was released originally in 1994 only in Japan. We never got this game over here in North America. I'm Canadian, by the way, if you don't know that. It was re-released with an English localized version called River City Girls 0 in an attempt to kind of give people who are playing the current River City Girls by Way Forward and Arc System the original game where these 4 characters had their first adventure, with Misako and Kyoko being playable characters as well. In this game, Ricky and Kunio are framed for a hit and run by Ken, if I remember correctly, and after breaking out of jail with Kyoko and Misako, they go off to clear their names. And what's really cool about this game is that it basically got 2 releases. You have the original version with all the original text, or the one that kind of fits into the new rebooted series or timeline of the River City Girls series. I think it was really fun. It's dated, it's old, a Super Famicom game. Not that I have problem with older games. I'm born in 93. I kind of grew up with some of this stuff, but I even think it was a little bit dated with some of that old beat 'em up jank. Almost as if, you know, it's like an arcade game that's designed to make you lose to put more quarters in. But I had a good time with it with my friend. It was fun to play. It was cool. We only beat it once and we never really came back to it. However, you could ride on bikes and kick people. That shit was gas. I even think using some of the newer songs and animation to kind of make it still fit with the whole theming and the whole style of the current River City Girls mythos was a really good addition and a nice touch, and I enjoyed it thoroughly.
What's this? A brand new game? Well, sorta, yes and no. It's our very first adventure together, but one of our deadliest though. Someone's out for Ricky and Kunio. Now they're behind bars until they break out, hella pissed, handing out bruises and scars. Time to have our guys fight back against the world. Yakuza and games against the River City Girls. We fight on motorcycles. Things get
But
wide.
let's talk about River City Girls 1. I beat this game in 2020 while we was locked up with my homie Nick, and we had an absolute blast. We pretty much did everything in this game except recruiting every single enemy variant to like get 100% completion. We got the true ending, all the Sabu statues, all the cats, all the side quests, everything. Like, it was such a good time. Me and him had a blast beating this game. In River City Girls 1, Kunio and Ricky are apparently kidnapped, and after Godai, I believe, sends them a text, Kyoko and Misako leave class and try to save them. I think what I really like about this game, and I believe it started in River City Ransom, or no, maybe another one, something Monogatari Kunio-kun something. I really like the RPG element that's added to the beat 'em up, a little bit like Scott Pilgrim 2, if I'm remembering the game correctly, where you kind of have a limited moveset and very basic stats, and as you visit various shops and eat and fight more and buy new moves from the dojos, you increase your moveset and you can do more and more things. And I actually like that build up. Not that some of them don't have things like that, but you generally have access to most of your moves except probably some special moves. The music is absolutely fantastic, which I will circle back to because, in my opinion, we can just kind of hop into the meat and potatoes of the game right now. 'Cause like I said, this is mostly about River City Girls 2. I really think River City Girls 2 is just River City Girls, but more. Anything that I can say about the second game applies to the first game, except there's certain things in the first game you couldn't do that you can in the second one. Every old enemy variant, every area is present with added stuff, certain changes, plus more areas. River City Girls 2 is more or less River City Girls 1, but better in my opinion. So this game's pretty simple. The Yakuza took over the town, and you want to buy a game called Vampire Punch 2 or Vampire Puncher 2. And because the Yakuza are being annoying and taking over all the cool spots in town, you guys decide to get involved and basically stop Sabu. In the first game, Sabu's daughter, and Sabu's kind of one of the main general antagonists of the Kunio-kun franchise, actually is the main boss of River City Girls 0, which is why I thought adding that game was smart, because with this game, returning Sabu and Ken to the franchise in this new rebooted format allowed people to get an earlier look of what that character or those characters were like back in their time. You start off with 4 playable characters: Misako, Kyoko, Ricky, and Kunio. Later on, you can unlock Pruvi, who I believe started in a different game. I can't remember what it's called right now. Mary and Kelly. Mary and Kelly is from the Double Dragon series. And then Jimmy and Billy Lee, the Double Dragon brothers. I also find it really cool that a lot of other Technos characters and things are referenced, like Abobo's here. Abobo has his brothers here. Sonny Lee, the actual third Double Dragon brother, is here. Burnov is here as well. And Marion basically became a fighter because she was tired of getting shot in the stomach and constantly kidnapped, which is what the Double Dragon's brothers' journeys and adventures seem to usually revolve around. Saving Marion. She needs no saving no more with them legendary abs. Now, I could talk about the characters' personalities, but unfortunately, for the most part, we don't get too much of it, no matter which character you pick and which character you use as your partner to kind of talk to you if you are playing solo or maybe just with 2 players. The dialogue is kind of the same. Billy and Jimmy Lee for the DLC do pretty much get their own kind of dialogue and own version of the story, so they're a little bit more fleshed out. But Misako and Kyoko are the same from the first game. Misako is very violent. Neither of them are very bright, but Kyoko is the absolute airhead. Kunio is a little bit sillier. Ricky's a little more serious and cool and calm and collected. Pruvi's not really a team player like that, but learns to be a team player. Plus, she's great at dancing and breakdancing and whatnot. Marion, I don't know too much about Marion like that. I don't know if her personality has carried over from the Double Dragon series that well or not, but you know, she's here, she's cool, she's there. And Jimmy and Billy Lee are actually really entertaining in their own right. They run a store at the dojo where you buy your moves from, and now they're playable. Misako was still my favorite character to play as. Then I'd probably say Jimmy Lee. Ricky is fun. Kunio. I actually think every character is fun to play as. It's just that I think because of my muscle memory carries over so much from River City Girls 1. Misako is just the one I feel the most comfortable playing as. But I will say this, I imagine if you played River City Girls and River City Girls back to back immediately, you might not have that much fun because it is still very samey in a lot of ways. I did have a 4-year gap in between technically, so coming back to it was rather refreshing. I also did beat this game with a group of friends and solo. The footage that I have is me playing alone. I gotta remember next time if I'm doing something like this, and I think I might make a video or content to record my co-op gameplay. You can do co-op online and stuff like that as well, but I actually have friends. I can't speak for other people who are like, I don't have any friends, so I have friends. Sorry, I'm not a loser. As for the gameplay, you have light attack, heavy attack, special moves, you can guard, you can grab people and do different type of grapples. This game added air combos and aerial moves for real, so you can actually combo. This game actually has a pretty deep combo system. You can go in, I just don't think it's necessary. The game's not hard enough where I think you need to be doing 50 hit combos all the time. And as far as I'm concerned, if I can't do that to the bosses, I don't particularly care. The bosses can kind of just get out of the combo whenever they feel like it, or if you hit them to a certain kind of part in their health bar, when it reaches a certain band, they just go off and do a special move. I actually thought some of the boss fights in this game were really obnoxious. The technology girl especially was annoying. In the first game it was Hibari, and I would say just a certain part of noises boss fight was annoying. But in this game, I thought the boss fights went from pretty straightforward and piss easy, like fighting Ken and Sabu, the last boss, was actually extremely easy, to annoying like fighting brainwashed Marion, who's making you jump on ledges while she like pours ooze or sewage waste. I don't know, just didn't move me with some of the boss designs. But the cook, the Spanish cook guy, the Hispanic guy, that was fire. Sabu was cool. And I actually didn't mind the witch battle, though I do think it's still a little bit gimmicky. But the boss fights in this game are pretty hit and miss, depend. I would say the second one probably has a better consistency. I'm not sure though. You guys can be a judge of that. So you have your light, heavy combos. What I always loved about this game is while enemies are on the ground, you can just stomp on them to kind of extend your combo meter and your hits. In addition to that, you can pick people up, you can pick up various items, throw them, beat them with people. You can make them ricochet. You can recruit enemies. So usually when you're on a battle screen, the last enemy that you're beating up, when they're around 20% HP, you can recruit them. Now you can recruit 2 people, and you can pay people as hired recruits, and they're much better than the regular ones. You got Paul, who was also in another River City game. I can't remember which one he was originally in. His design's much different. Among some other people, some cool ones, you got Noise, you got Soul Bad Guy, he's in this game from Guilty Gear, and I won't spoil some of the other cool ones and a couple of Easter eggs I thought were really dope, but the recruit system in this game is much better in my opinion. I also believe the addition of air combos was absolutely a necessity, and like little team combo moves, like as Kyoko, you could hold somebody and I come in as Misako and just feed them punches, boom, 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 boom in the stomach. Like, it's tough, it's dope. Like, they really added that co-op mechanic to it a bit more, because before you kind of had to do it manually. Like I remember my boy Nick would do like the little volleyball spikes to hit the enemy up, so I can do like a grapple and like pound them into the ground with like a hidden lotus type move. You know what I'm saying? There's more stores now. You also have stats, by the way, like strength, agility, luck, weapon, like power, how much power your things do. Agility obviously is how fast you move and things like that. Going to various stores and getting various items, the first time you use it will replenish HP and give you a stat boost. So like 1 stamina, 1 attack power, 1 weapon, but it only happens the first time you eat most items. And in some stores just sell certain things that are pretty much for stats and stats alone. Gotta find some secret stores, gotta make sure you're eating food to make sure that as they level up, you're also stacking on stats to the various characters you're using. And you use money. When you beat enemies, they drop money. You use that to buy things in stores. Accessories do things like, oh, you do more damage against women. Your weapons don't break, but maybe do less damage, or air combos do more damage. So accessories are important. You should play around with them and see what you can and can't do. There are some pretty broken ones you get later on into the game when you complete certain side quests, but I think it's a nice system. And then the pause menu, you have your item inventory, your accessories, your GPS that lets you see where you gotta go, Snapper, which is pretty much like I think Instagram type thing, Honker, which is a parody of Twitter, where your quests are, your move list, and then your settings are there too. So it's actually a very, very, very good UI. The interface is absolutely amazing. The presentation is amazing. Going to the various stores shows the character or characters in the store with various poses depending on what store they're in. Their level of interest or disinterest might yield a different sprite while they're in there, and I always really love to see it. And then seeing the things and hearing the things the store owners say, like, oh fuck, a customer, and then when you leave, please don't come back. I'm like, dog, what the hell? Bring more money. Like, it's actually such an unserious game, and usually I tend not to like the writing style that some of these games tend to have, because I feel like it's snarky, absolutely unserious from top to bottom in any capacity. But I feel like with River City Girls, they found a good balance, though I do think 2 had a few points where I'm like, all right, this Disney MCU humor, fourth wall breaking stuff, you're doing it a little too much. Rein it in a little bit. Rein it in a little bit. I think another thing that greatly enhances the experience and general ambience of the game is the music, the soundtrack, the OST. Megan McDuffie, with whoever else she's been working with, did an amazing job again.
That's right, we're back again. Last time was not the end, and now there's a greater threat, so we better call some friends. There's a new final boss in town and some really bad guys. But fighting beside my BFF, we probably won't die. It's time for you to leave now. You're not welcome in this world. Pack your bags, you're getting evicted by the River City Girls. No, you don't say the 2 part, but it says it right there. Let's try again.
But wait! There's more!
Best not attack when the girls are back. Best not attack when the girls are back. Best not attack when the girls are back. Best not attack when the girls are back.
Kicks and punches are coming in bunches. High school lunches. Get the starches, you need more substance. The girls are back. Here to cause disruptions. Back in town, got them backing down. Now the rerun is what's happening now. So we cracking down, you hear the cracking sound. They come back for the captain.
Every single song in the first game is present in the second game, plus more. You got the River City anthem, that's incredible. Get off my lawn, don't play with me, I think I'm better than you. I think I'm better than you. Like that one, for like the Sabu family, was really good. And honestly, River City Girls 2 was a really fun time. Had a couple of padding things I didn't particularly love, but I really think that they took what worked from the first game and made it a lot better. And while I don't think this series needs to continue in this vein for perpetuity, I do want to see what they will do with a third game. And I think a third game is where they should try to take a little bit more liberties. What I would personally do with a third game is maybe focus the game, maybe not focus the game, but have a big sport component to it, an athletics to it. A big part of the Kunio series is Kunio being recruited by different clubs to play basketball, swimming, hockey, football, by which I mean soccer, things of that nature. And I wonder if they added like a volleyball, dodgeball, like dedicated like game mechanics to it. So maybe it's like you have to verse other schools, and occasionally you still go on the street, you fight, you still beat them up, but like the main point is like to win the dodgeball tournament. Keep it simple. You don't have to have the city being taken over by the Sabu family every time, but I would like to see them really expand the next game and make it feel and maybe even look just a little bit different. Amazing sprite work, amazing idle animations. I love the facial expressions, the different designs they give, and even the randomest background characters, and all the love and Easter eggs from the Technos era of Kunio-kun that is all over from Kunio games, like certain characters, like I said, Burnoff, Abobo, Sunny Lee. Absolutely incredible. Skullmageddon, Double Dragon Neon. Skullmageddon was in the first game, but he like has a more prominent role in this one. And Burnoff still disappears the same way after you beat him. So ultimately, I just wanted to give this game and show it some love. If you have never heard of it or you're kind of watching this video now, I would say give River City Girls 1 a shot. And if you like it and you don't mind old games, maybe play Zero next to give you a bit of a different type of game and buffer between 1 and 2. But if you want to just play 1 and 2, go ahead, enjoy the soundtrack, enjoy the presentation, enjoy beating up some motherfucking people. I also gotta say, this is one of the games that I've played with the greatest enemy variety ever. I'm probably missing some game in my head, but the enemy variety in this game is absolutely phenomenal. You just keep running into new enemies and different versions of them, and I really, really like it. Unfortunately, for completionists, you have to recruit every single version of them to get 100% completion. Lucky for me, I am not a completionist. You guys be safe. The Bleach video will be out soon. I swear, I promise to everything that I love. And you guys have yourselves a mighty fine day. Niamix out. Play River City Girls. It's a great beat 'em up.